chapter 2, we're going to begin at verse 2. We'll be reading verses 2 and 3. Habakkuk chapter 2, reading verses 2 and 3. And it says, "Then the Lord said to me, write the answer plainly on tablets, so that a runner can carry the correct message to others. This vision is for a future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed." Let me read it one more time. "Then the Lord said to me, write," New Living Translation says, "write the answer." More traditional King James would say, "write the vision." We all know that. So what does this communicate to us? It means any vision you have should be an answer to somebody's problem. So whatever God is calling this ministry to do, our vision should ultimately be an answer to someone's problem or issue. He said, write the answer plainly on tables so that a runner can carry the correct message to others. If you don't plant the vision, don't be surprised when you walk into confusion. He says, so that a runner can carry a correct message to others. This vision is for a future time. It describes the end, and it will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will take place. It will not be delayed. It's Vision Sunday 2024. I want to use for a subtopic today, he said what he said. He said what he said. Before you take your seat, tell 2 or 3 people around you, he said what he said. He said what he said. He said what he said. D.L. Moody, great theologian, he writes, and I quote, "Our greatest fear should not be of failure, but of succeeding at something that doesn't really matter." Our greatest fear should not be of failure, but of succeeding at something that doesn't really matter. Why is this important, ladies and gentlemen? Because everyone ends up somewhere, but few people end up somewhere on purpose. And if I were to ask you today, where are you going? Could you tell me? More so where you end up when you get there. If I asked you, did you get here on purpose? Would you say this was a part of my plan or vision, or this is where I ended up? So today is not only about corporate vision relative to the City Church of Goldsboro, it is also about your personal vision. Why is this important? Relative to the City Church of Goldsboro, we exist to provide others a place to belong, to become, and to bless the local church and beyond through the limitless love of Jesus Christ. Our big 3 primarily are to belong, to become, and to bless beyond. What does this mean for us? Because who we are is inculcated within those 3. When we say to provide you a place to belong, our goal is to give you an opportunity to be a part of a Jesus community. When we say belong, our goal is to give you opportunity to be a part of a Jesus community. Many of us are a part of a number of things that are not bringing value to our lives, our community, nor our future. We want you to be a part of a Jesus community. So what does that look like for us? That is our city weekend experience. So when we tell you, you can join us on Sundays at either 9 or 11 a.m., we want you to be a part of the celebration of this Jesus community. We provide a place to belong and to become. Tell someone, become. This is important because when we want you to become, we're not desiring you to become more like us. I'm changing. I don't want you to be more like me. You're always going to be left behind. We want you to become more like Jesus. I want to become more like Jesus. So not only to be a part of a Jesus community, but to become more like him. And that process, also known as discipleship for us, you find it in our groups and our alternative gatherings. Anything that happens outside of our Sunday experience. So as you're in your group, you're not just in your group, just dumping and feel bad for me and woe is me. And they're probably going to hear you and they're going to give you Kleenex to wipe your tears. And after that, here are some strategies for change. Because we have to become more like Jesus. So we provide a place to belong. Someone say belong. To become, say become. And to bless the local church and beyond. We want to give you an opportunity to do what Jesus did. And that is to serve his community, to serve his family, and to serve those in his concentric circles of concern. Service comes in two ways. Number one, it is in your dream team. How many of you are part of a dream team? Make some noise. Yeah. Nudge the person beside you. Ask them, what team you on? And wait for a response. If they don't say nothing, ask them, what's up? You got to be on a team. We want to get you on a team. Not only does you helping on a team help us to create the experience we create on the weekends, but it provides you an opportunity to discover your gift. While I'm working, I find what I'm good at. I find what I'm called to. And when I find that, then I begin to more perfect it and craft it so he can use me not only here in this local church, but even beyond, whether I go into my community or traveling to other states, etc. I get so excited when I see the many of you doing so many other things throughout this community that go beyond this church. Why? Because I know before you got here, you couldn't do that in many cases. Many of you didn't even want to do that. When I asked you to do it for the first time, you like, who, me? And now the Lord's using you. This place becomes an incubator for the gift that is on the inside of you. Speaking of, let's talk about what God has done through the course of this year. How many of you remember our Serve the City campaign? I served the city campaign of 2024. Through that sequence of days, we saw approximately 10 community projects employed all throughout the city. Give God a hand for that. As many of you, by way of your teams, or either individually or a group that you were in, as you galvanized together collectively, we saw the employment of over 200 volunteer manpower hours go out throughout the community of Goldsboro, North Carolina. Give God a shout for that. Even with that being said, we saw that effort through approximately 50 of our most precious volunteers, and that comes by way of you serving, finding your gift, and employing that gift for the greater good of community and for others. Why is this important? Because Proverbs 28:19 says, those who work their land will have an abundant food. But those who chase fantasies will have their fill of poverty. What if I told you the only reason you're in the middle of a dry season is because you didn't take the time to plant seed in your own field? You've been investing in the seeds of others, and when you needed a harvest, you couldn't get your hands upon it. So I want to ask you, where are you dispersing your gift, talent, and or treasure, and how is it going to work for you? This is important. Why? Because you will produce at the level you give attention to your priorities. I'll say it again. You will produce at the level that you give attention to your priorities. So if we be honest, PT, my family is struggling. Let's honestly assess your family. How much time have you invested in it? So is it possible you are only seeing a byproduct of a field that has gone with no seed being sown? So you're trying to pull out harvest from where there is no seed. So sometimes we got to look, my marriage is in trouble. So how much time do you invest in your marriage compared to the time you invest in work? How much time do you invest in your spouse compared to the time that you invest in watching your favorite shows? So in some cases, you're in a season of dryness because of a lack of investment. So with that being said, PT, wow, you shooting darts at us today. You come in hard. I'm trying to help you. We are not the beat-me-up church. We are the pick-me-up church. So PT, I don't know what I need to do. That's why we're here. I want to give you strategies to help to take your life to its next level. How many of you want to go to your next level? So let's do this together. Why is this important? Because when we say vision, vision is Hebrew for the word kason. Vision is Hebrew for the word kazon. It means a dream, a revelation, and or a vision for your life. So something as simple as, what are you doing tomorrow? I don't know. I ain't decided yet. You have so many tomorrows that you take for granted. You don't know how to be intentional with the time you have. Your tomorrow, for the most part, shall already be figured out, because if tomorrow is my last, I want to make good on what I have. So what are you doing with your tomorrow? What is your vision for your life? Psalm 126, verses 1 and 2 says, when the Lord restored the fortunes of Zion, we were like those who dreamed. Our mouths were filled with laughter, our tongues with songs of joy. Then it was said amongst the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. We're talking about an Israel that has saw their temple destroyed. And at the point of restoration, the Bible says they found themselves more healthy. They found themselves more happy, but a lot of this came because they were able to dream again. And sometimes life gets so heavy, you lose your dream. Life gets so dark and things get so tight around you, you lose your dream. Can I tell you, the one thing you cannot afford to lose is your dream? I can lose a little money, but I can't lose my dream. In many cases, it was because of my ability to dream that I make the money that I do. So I can lose money, but I can't lose my dream. And I just might lose a date, but I can't lose my dream. There's a lot of things I can lose, but I cannot lose my dream. When you lose your dream, you lose your hope. You lose your desire and your passion for tomorrow. Tell your neighbor, you got to dream again. The Bible says in the book of Acts chapter 2, verse 17. You're familiar with this one. We don't want to be really churchy on this one. I don't want to take it where you think we're going to take it, but this is important. Acts chapter 2, verse 17. In the last days, God said, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and your daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions. Your old men will dream dreams. He said, in the last days, when life gets dark, when things start turning topsy-turvy. He says, in the last days, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh, and your sons, your daughters will prophesy, your men will see visions. He says, in the time of trouble, I'm giving you peace, not by sending angels of war, but I'm sending vision to give you clarity. In some seasons, one of the reasons you go through many hardships is because you're not clear on who you are and or what you're supposed to be doing. When I have a vision for my life, I know what my assignment is. And when I know what my assignment is, I know what my assignment isn't. And you better text that to somebody. I'll just bless you right there. When I know what my assignment is, I know what my assignment isn't. So sometimes, we get dispersions cast upon our name because people are asking, we want to partner with you guys, and we want to partner with, who wouldn't want, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but who wouldn't want to partner with us? That is your vision. That is not ours. We speak the blessing of God over your vision, but we know what we're called to do. It doesn't mean what you're called to do isn't important. It's just not priority for us. And you would be able to sleep at night if you were able to separate your vision from theirs. We need you to help us. That's not my vision. I speak the blessing of God over you and your vision, but I know what my vision and my assignment is. There's got to be some clarity. Someone say clarity. This is important because the Bible then communicates to us in Proverbs 29:18 in the Message translation, work your garden. You'll end up with plenty of food. Play and party, and you'll end up with an empty plate. I'm going to read it again. Work your garden. You'll end up with plenty of food. Play and party. You'll end up with empty plate. Do you know how catastrophic social media can be attempting to influence you to work someone else's garden? You know how many times I see other preachers and their likes and their shares, and I'm like, maybe if I do that, I might get a little bit of the attention that they're getting, but that is their garden. And I got to believe that God is going to help me to flourish in my own garden. Why is this important, ladies and gentlemen? So I want to ask you, what are you doing in this season? What are you doing? Where are you going? What are you doing, and or what should you no longer be doing? Clarity gives you fuel for life. And in this season, we are becoming clear. There are three things that are distinctly important for us in this season. Number one, facilities. Number two, families. Number three, our future. Number one, facilities. Number two, families. Number three, our future. Can you imagine one day one of your children, one of my children, preaching on this stage in a building that's been absolutely paid for? Can you imagine the season where we're pulling things together to get everything done, and because of our consistency and hard work, our children get to worship in a place they no longer have a bill to? We're talking about future. Someone say future. So with that comes facilities. You ought to have a house that you can pass on to that next generation. And as it is in your family, so shall we desire to be with our family. So with these facilities, you guys know city churches, we different. We different. It's just a little different. Some stuff that people will be satisfied with, it's got me cringing up the walls every time I walk in this building. It is a season. We're just here for now, but we're different. We believe in excellence. Why? Because you only have one time to make a first impression. We were out at dinner not long ago, and there was some Caucasian older white ladies somebody had on the City Church shirt, and they stopped us at the table and said, hold on. Y'all go to that church? Next thing you know, I'm being summoned over to the table. I'm like, I just want to eat. I just want my appetizer and my sweet tea. Now I got to go over this table. Yes, ma'am. How you doing, mother? So I hear you the pastor of that church. What do you mean by that church? I need you to clarify that, mother. What do you mean by that church? I mean, I go to church down there, and when I go to my church, I always got to pass y'all church. And our church, just no shade, this is what she told me, our church is kind of dying out. You know, there ain't many of us left over there. But when I drive by your church to get to our church, I see what's in your church, and I say, Lord, I pray for that church. Why? Because when people aren't even coming in, what God is doing in is entering into their hearts. You only got one time to make a first impression. Everything is valuable. So over the course of the next couple months, I need your help. Tell somebody, my pastor's talking to you. Now, if I'm not your pastor, I am for the next 30 minutes. You understand? So you're going to listen to me, and you're going to submit to my authority. You understand? So over the next 3 months, I need your help. Tell somebody I need your help. So this is what I need. Over the course of October, as you bring your tithe and your offering, I'm asking you, can you help me to go over and above your tithe and offering as a collective? This ain't even big. I don't even know why I put this in my notes. Over the course of the collective, together, over the course of October, extended over our tithe and offering, can you help me to galvanize an additional $7,500? Write the check right now. I see it on your face. Just write the check. You like, what? He should have just asked me, player. I got that. I'm just asking collectively, can we galvanize together and raise an extra PT, what are we going to do with $7,500? They told me you'd be buying them trucks and stuff. Shut your face. If you would have seen what I've been driving so this building can get to its next level, if you would have known some of the sacrifices I've made over the last 10 years so we can get here, please. You understand? It's my season, but it ain't even about that. What I want you to do is we're going to pull together an additional $7,500. What we're going to do, and we're going to go into the parking lot, and we're going to refinish our parking lot. It's going to be nice and black, and the stripes are going to be fresh and white. You understand what I'm saying? It's almost like like some of you ladies, you ain't talked to your husband in a whole 2 weeks. All of a sudden, he get a haircut. You like, Big Daddy. It's something about when you see a man come out of that barbershop with a fresh line up. Can you imagine what that parking lot's gonna look like at nighttime when the lights are shining at night and the asphalt is freshly dark and the lines are nice, straight, and white and crisp? Do you imagine what that impression's gonna look like? Now, can I take you a step further? In addition, we want to paint the outside of our building. It's going to go from white to a dark gray to match the sign out there. Why is that important? Because once we do that, we got these big windows out. Y'all with me? I'm dreaming out loud. We got these big windows out front. We ain't going to leave that like that. So we're going to go around some of these windows, and we're going to frame them in wood. And the front of it is going to be lattice. And down that lattice is going to have vinery. Green vines going down the lattice. Why is that important? Because your cousins them be getting on my nerves. I'll be about to throw hands in the streets because your cousins them be like, oh, that new church over there. No, boo-boo. This ain't no new church. We going on 11 years. We not new to this. We are true. Oh, we in a new building, but we not no new. Oh, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to hit them like a mystic. They ain't even going to see it coming because when you see vines going down a building, what does it suggest? The building is aged. So you're going to stop calling us a new church. We've been here. We've been doing that. And it's going to pimp out the front just a little bit. All that takes is $7,500. Can you help me with that? All right, that's a small. So we're going to do that in October. We're going to do that really fast. And then in the month of November, you know what we need? Just be faithful with what we do. I'm going to leave you alone. You got Thanksgiving. Some of y'all got to buy chitlins and ham hocks and all that stuff. I'm going to leave you alone in the month of November. All right? Then December 8th comes, the second Sunday in December, and generally the second Sunday in December is always legacy giving for us. It's on our calendar, second Sunday in December. We go over and above with an over and above gift, and we sow into the future of our house. We sow into our posterity. Now, to be honest, what we would desire to do is just take that and put it away, but it's go time. Tell somebody it's go time. So this is what we're going to do. I want you on December 8th to collectively, we're going to join together and we're going to raise over and above our tithe and offering an additional $55,000. $55,000. Clap your hands for that. All right? December 8th, legacy giving. We're going to raise an additional $55,000 PT. So this is where the truck come in. The truck I'm going to get, $55,000 ain't going to cut it. So what are we going to do with that? We're going to go right out there under that underpass, and we're going to build our children's wing. That's what we're going to do. And we're going to create space for them to be able to go, and their walls can be painted and all their flooring done, and they're going to have first-class ministry on the level to which they can understand. I got a single mother ready to write that check right now. Like, if you take them now, I'll write it. Please get little man out of my face. You understand? So our children deserve the same. And we're going to be looking to complete that for them. And that is going to come with our legacy gift. We talked to our contractor. We might be looking at a 2 to 3 week project. So all I need you to do is write the check. You understand? I said 55,000. You understand? All that is 55 people giving $1,000. That's all. Some of you 5, that's as far as you can get. It's all right. Your neighbor said they got 500 on it. I got 5 on it. No. They said as a row together, we're going to galvanize together. We're going to get this done. Why? Because our future, our family, and our facilities are tied in to all of this. There's so many more people that need to be touched, but it's going to require our work. Why? Because if you work your garden, you'll end up with plenty of food. Play and party, and you'll end up with an empty plate. Why? Because you will produce at the level you give attention to your priorities. What are our priorities? Our facilities, our families, and our future. We are giving attention to, let's talk about families for a second. We got a city group that's getting ready to launch today. It is our couples group getting ready to launch today. They're going to have their first meeting. I think it's today at 5 o'clock. Make some noise for our couples marriage group. Couples marriage group. I don't know how this happened. We've never had this happen before. There are close to 30 some odd people in this group. You understand? 30 some odd people saying we don't just want to be married, but we want to be a model of a relationship of Jesus Christ and his church and the love that he has. This is what it's all about. And this is what Future Families and Facilities provides us an opportunity to do. So what are you doing? We're focusing on our big three: our future, our family, and our facilities. What are you supposed to be doing? For us, focusing on our big three: our future, our family, and our facilities. In addition, as Matthew chapter 28, verses 19 and 20 would say, therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always to the very end of the age. What is your vision for your life? I don't care what you're doing. If what you're doing doesn't tie into baptizing all nations and making disciples, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. This is the assignment of all believers. What does that look like for me? I need to provide space for each and every one of you to bring the person with you that you are discipling and leading and walking to Christ. When you come on Sunday and you are in part growing from the stage, there ought to be somebody sitting beside you who Monday through Saturday grows from your overflow. Sit beside me while I'm being poured into, and I'm going to give you my overflow Monday through Saturday. That's what growth looks like. Are you with me? Am I doing all right so far? All right, I'm going to get ready and leave you alone. Why is this important? Because 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 20 through 21 says, they had disobeyed God while Noah was building the boat, but God had been patient with them. 8 people went into that boat and were brought safely through the flood. Those flood waters were like baptism that now saves you. But baptism is more than just washing your body. It means turning to God with a clear conscience, because Jesus Christ was raised from the dead. How many of you remember a few weeks ago we celebrated baptism? It is a beautiful moment and an opportunity. And if you are here today and you know Jesus and you have not been baptized, we want to be able to baptize you. Why is this important? Let's talk about some extra wins. Over the course of the last few months, we have seen approximately 100 people make a decision for Christ every month. You ought to give God a hand for that. Over the last few months, we have averaged an attendance of 300 people weekly. You ought to give God a shout for that. Last month alone, ladies and gentlemen, we saw our attendance go from roughly 300 a week to 400 a week. You ought to give God a hand for that. The reality is we have seen growth because of your faithfulness and your giving, and I appreciate you for that. We have seen growth just the same in our expense, but I ain't even going to talk about that. Why is this important? Because despite all we have seen, we are still performing under average. We are still performing under average. What does that mean? It means a lot of you who are rolling over these floors that's got to be vacuumed on tomorrow and using up all of our Kleenexes aren't even given enough to help us put them back. Some of you same ones complaining about it's hot, don't do nothing to help pay the bill. I'm sorry, that might be too raw. I'm just putting the cookies on the bottom shelf so everybody can eat. So with my vision and with my dream, I just want to dare to ask, with everything we have been able to do, what would happen if everybody on your row went all in? You remember not long ago we talked about this Christmas production we were going to do, and y'all thought I was playing. And right there in the middle of the service, I found somebody who was going to write it. And y'all thought I was playing. And less than a week ago, she sent me our Christmas production. And all I'm trying to say is if we all went all in, by the time Christmas get here, we can have people hanging from the rafters like they... I think she got some angels. They got to fly. They're not supposed to be on their feet. They're supposed to fly. And we got to hang them and we got to buy stuff. Who going to volunteer to hang from the, nobody want to do that. Where your faith at, huh? I'm just trying to say, what would happen if we went all in? And I received it as a compliment. And some of you, PT, I don't know what's been going on the last few months. You've been on fire. Like something different has been going on. Can I tell you what different has been going on? We came into this building in the month of May. We had a bit of a transition period going through the summer, taking care of my family. Kids are back in school. They're now out of my hair. So generally, 4 days out of the week, I am in this building doing what? Working on ministry, working on my message, preparing for the weekend. I'm able to put so much more time in what I do because of your faithfulness and your generosity. Everybody see that? So can I take you one step further? What could happen if everyone on your row went all in and there was another of me who was able to be in the building at least 4 days out of the week, thinking only about our children? What level could our worship get to if we all went all in? That there's somebody in this building at least 4 days a week doing nothing but working on our weekend music and set list. What could happen if there's somebody in this building at least 4 days out of the week with all of us going all in who's just thinking about marriage and families, etc.? What could happen if we all went all in? Are you understanding what I'm saying? So ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave you with this. There are two types of people in this room, and I want to spend my last few moments ministering to those two types of people. The two types of people, number one, they're those that are growing distracted. Everyone say distracted. Number two, they're those who are growing tired. Someone say tired. Number one, they're those who are growing distracted. Number two, they're those who are growing tired. I want to take cause to pause and deal firstly with those who are growing distracted. You are not an enemy element, and I'm not here to cast darkness upon you. I'm here to help you get your focus back. I want to show you what can happen if you live the rest of your life off focus and off target. This is what Stephen Covey says. He says, in essence, it would be a catastrophe to get to the end of your life, climbing the ladder of success, only to get to the top and realize you leaned your ladder against the wrong wall. Catastrophe. Can I take you a step further? It was, ladies and gentlemen, in the 2004 Olympics where Matt Emmons, who was an American three-position rifle shooter, and he was going into the 2004 Olympics at Athens as the clear favorite. He showed up to take the gold. The rest of y'all are going to fight over silver and bronze. Everybody knew that. He was just a sharp shooter. And as they were preparing and they were competing, when he got to his last shot, he was so far ahead, all he had to do was close his eyes and land somewhere on the target. Just hit the paper, and you still walk away with gold. Now, the beauty of this type of triple rifle shooting is because they're shooting from a distance of 50 meters, and it can just that little bit of a movement determines how close you hit the. Let me pause parenthetically, insert. We have a concealed carry class coming up, and I need you to sign up. I need you to sign up. This is not a political statement. It's just there way too many of y'all who got guns that ain't registered. Something jump off in here, you like, PT, I got you, and you going to jail though. But when you done though, I can't help you. My mama gave me this gun. Your mama's going to have you in jail. Get papers on that. You understand what I'm saying? I need you to go to that class. So even when you're shooting, just the smallest movement determines how you hit that target. So one of the things with this three-point rifle shooting is they're shooting from 50 meters. If you pull the trigger just a little harder than necessary, it can determine left or right. So oftentimes, while they're aiming, it's not simply about getting focus. They're first silencing themselves. So they're locked in and they're counting. And it's not because they're anxious. They're counting their heartbeat, because when they get control of the beating of their heart, then they can slow it down. And they're going to be more apt to hit the target if they actually pull the trigger in between the beats. Don't worry about nothing. That just helps somebody. So this is important, right? So when he gets ready to pull that trigger, he's aiming, boom, and he sends it. He walks away. Boom, I got it. Because he hit the bullseye. Winner. All right, here's the only problem. In this competition, when you shoot, if you hit the target, there's a bell that sounds letting you know you hit the target. We're now going to calculate your points, all right? He hit the bullseye, but there was no sound. So he's trying to figure out what's going on. I clearly hit the bull. Why didn't you make a sound? What he didn't realize is while he was setting up, although he hit the bullseye, he hit the wrong target. And you don't get points for hitting the bullseye on the wrong target. And sadly, for many of us, that was the difference between him getting the gold medal and a bronze medal and being consoled by his wife because I hit the bullseye, but I hit somebody else's target. Now, what's going to be sad? All right? Here's what's crazy. You don't hear well done by hitting someone else's target. That you were absolutely a sharp shooter, but your focus was off. It was the difference between him getting gold and getting bronze, because although he hit the bullseye, he was aiming at somebody else's target. There are a lot of churches who are hitting bullseyes, but it's not their target. And we're not going to become somebody else just so your friends can like us. We know what our target is, and we're going to hit the bullseye because somebody needs what we're bringing to the table. And let me pause and parenthetically insert, for those of you who wake up in the morning, go in the bathroom, and come out as somebody else, your whole face different, whole hair different, everything's, at some point, you got to look in the mirror and fall in love with yourself. I love me. And if you're going to be with me, you got to fall in love with the authentic me and what I'm really bringing to the table, or else you're going to go all day looking like somebody else's bullseye. You don't get points for hitting the bullseye on somebody else's target. That's for my brothers and sisters who are distracted. But can I take lastly cause to pause and minister to my friends who know what it's like to grow tired? PT, I'm giving everything that I have, but I'm tired. Like, this is taking a lot out of me. I thought I would have accomplished this by now. I've been believing God, but I'm tired. Can I give you an example? And you know, while I was preparing for this and the Lord was putting this on my heart, I got mad at God, first of all. Secondly, I felt like a new believer, because as I went through a recent season, I'm trying to wonder, why didn't nobody give me these scriptures? I knew them, but they just didn't come back up at the time, and I almost ran around my house shouting over a word that I'm supposed to give you. Are you ready? This is what the Bible says in the book of Daniel. I want you to go with me quickly to the book of Daniel in chapter 10, beginning at verse 11. And then said, Daniel, your God thinks highly of you, and he has sent me, so stand up and play close. So Daniel had seen a vision. And he had made a decree out to the Lord, Lord, we need your help. And he sent out this decree, and he didn't see a manifestation nor an answer. So he's waiting. Day after day, no manifestation, no answer. Week after week, no manifestation, no answer. He has been waiting for 21 days. So can you imagine how weary he had become? Waiting for his Father to show up, and it's been 21 days. But this is what the word of the Lord comes to Daniel. He says, Daniel, don't be afraid. God has listened to your prayers since the first day you asked for something, and he has sent me here. But the guardian angel of Persia opposed me for 21 days. I'm sorry. Did you see that? He said, the guardian angel, I've been waiting for 21. I've been believing for 20. I've been trusting God, and I saw nothing. But I'm growing weary and I'm growing faint because I've been waiting for 21 days. He said, hold up, cuz. I heard you the first time. Not only did I hear you, I sent your answer. But I ain't seen it because the enemy of Persia has been combating the manifestation of what I have for you, and we have been fighting in another realm for how long? For 21 days. You have been waiting for 21. We've been fighting for 21. It means when you asked, I heard you and I sent your answer. But there is opposition to what I have sent your way. Why? Because it's not for what you need, it's for who you believe. Because when I take your faith, I rob you of everything. For without faith, it is impossible to please the Lord. So when the enemy takes your faith, he takes your hope, he takes your ability to continue to believe in God, he takes everything from you. He said, whoa, I heard you, and I sent your answer. But Satan and his imps have been warring with us. Now, this is crazy. Here's the problem, though. He does have permission to hold it up, but he does not have permission to pull it out. All right? So here's what we have done. We have employed the angel Michael. Are you with me? So I don't know if y'all are familiar with the archangels. Generally, there's two. There's a messaging angel, then there's a warring angel. Anytime you see the angel Michael show up, we're not looking to have conversation. We about to throw hands. The archangel Michael is the equivalent of Mike Tyson. There's about to be a fight. And he said, I want you to have what I have for you so bad, I told Michael to go and get it for you. Can I take you a step further? I didn't even give this to the 9 o'clock. You ought to be glad that you're here. Then Michael, who was one of the strongest guardian angels, came to rescue me from the king of Persia. He says, first of all, I want you to know I love you. Because in your waiting, it's easy to feel like God doesn't care anymore. So first of all, let me remind you, I do love you. Number 2, I heard you. Number 3, I answered you. Number 4, now I'm sending help. All right? You ought to be glad you're here. 9 o'clock did not get this. If you keep reading in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, what you will find is before Daniel ever saw a manifestation, he said, you have grown tired in your waiting. So here, now, I'll renew your strength. Before you ever get an answer, one thing you don't have to worry about anymore is being tired. Strength be renewed unto you. And in some seasons, I don't have to have my answer right now, but I do need some strength because I might not be able to make it another day. Father, can you renew my strength? And today I'm praying for the renewal of strength for somebody in this room. Because your yes, your vision is the answer to somebody else's problem. And when you remove your yes, somebody loses their answer. When you refuse to keep going, somebody may not be able to survive. Because your vision is not just for you. Your vision is to be the answer to someone else's problem. So who will have to pay a price because you were too tired to show up? Who is going to have to suffer because you chose to go throw in the towel and not go another day? City Church, today is Vision Sunday 2024. Today I want to applaud you because there's some in this room who don't know what it's like to be in the auditorium of Goldsboro High School. And we're not separating who is who and who's being here. It ain't even about that part. Some don't know nothing about having live at 5 Sunday services at Mount Zion. Some don't know nothing about doing summers in the movie theater. Some of y'all don't even know nothing about. What are y'all talking about? They don't know nothing about that. Here, some people found us at 1309, but they would have never found us at 1309 had you gave up in the theater. They would have never found us at 1309 had we thrown in the towel at the auditorium. They would not have found us at 1309 if when the school system told us we could no longer use Goldsboro High School auditorium for the summer, we would not have been creative enough to say, let's just have a live at 5. You don't know how many times we took a loss behind the scenes, but because we marketed it well, we won anyway. I'm here to tell somebody this morning that your situation might not change, but it will change if you communicate it better. I'm not dying in this season. I'm just slowing down a little bit. I'm not dying in this season. He's just renewing my strength. Because of what he has in front of me, I got to be prepared for my next. So because of your faithfulness, some people found us right here. There's so many more people who ride by this building every day. And it is your ability to go all in that's going to be the point of attraction that says, I think I need to go over there and see what's going on. I've seen churches throughout this community, God bless their soul, and many of them 50 years, and they have not been able to produce what I've seen at the City Church. Something different is going on over there. I want to see, and when they come in, they find community. They find connection. They find camaraderie. They find love. They find the safe. I got a lot going on. Join the crowd. I just look this good. I got way more going on than it looks like. No, I'm not like this because I'm on easy street. I'm just a survivor. I've already resolved I'm not going to die in this. Can't happen. So why is this important, ladies and gentlemen? Because for whatever God has spoken over your life, he said what he said. And he's not changing his mind concerning it. The only other thing that can happen to keep it from coming to pass is if you change your mind concerning him. And today I'm talking to those of you where the enemy is filtering in your mind, attempting to get you to see God differently than the one who brought you through the fire. He's trying to get you to see him differently than the one that kept you through the divorce. He's trying to get you to see God differently than the one who brought you through your family trauma and all your pain that you had. Why am I going to see him differently now? That's the enemy's desire. I got to stay focused. I got to stay razor sharp, knowing the plan and the purposes of God in my life. Stand up. Stand on your feet all across the building. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here for two people. I'm here for those who know I've grown a little distracted. My commitment to the things of God is not even at the same level. And when I say this, I'm not trying to get you to show up to a weekend more. I just want you to pray like you're supposed to. You don't wake up in the morning and pray like you should. Your devotional life is not as consistent as it used to be. These are the early